I'm glad you brought basketball. As much as I despise LeBron James, I'm looking for some new sneakers.
I love that you hate him so much. He's just he's so meaningless in your life and interests. Like he's,
I just hate
to
looking
me,
at him.
he is a guy I never think about unless I'm like,
well, he comes up. I talk a lot of sports in my regular life. I watch ESPN all day, and I have to see that sucker. And anyway, hate him. And as much as I do hate him,
such a good man.
That man makes a fine sneaker. All right, like I'm looking at the shoes I want are LeBron's.
Zach, can we see a picture? I can't
just
even
pull up a pair of LeBron's. I like the white on white
and gold 1980s high top.
I like the white. I like white on white, but the white with gold is nice. I don't and there's one that's kind of got some like fruity colors on it, and it's not bad either. I like the design. I think it doesn't look like a piece of shit, because so many times I'm like, I'm not putting that on my shoe. I'm on my foot. Like that looks ugly. It just looks like a nice clean shoe. Well, yeah.
Oh, shucks.
That's the exact shoe I like.
Did you see
that or the white one?
Some news story about LeBron's school? Did you see that like not one 8th grade student has passed a math exam, like those placement exams?
Beaten to death there the other day.
Since 2020.
Yeah, I was gonna something.
Yeah, I got beaten to death the other day there.
Okay, well then, what do we do? He's got to get his school under control. It sounds like it's doing bad. Don't
look into why that child was beaten to death. It had nothing to do with race. Those 3 black children just happened to not like that white child's friend squirted them with a gel pellet gun.
Wait, someone actually was beaten to death? At LeBron
one kid
James
shot at
school?
another kid with like one of those gel pellet guns, and so they came over and hit the other guy.
Pellet gun. I don't know this.
Yeah, I don't know where they came from. It was probably a Kickstarter or some shit, but they got super popular, especially in like, I would see black neighborhoods where everybody had them, like shooting each other, having fun with them. They shoot these biodegradable gel pellets that are soft and squishy, but you like blast with them.
They hurt a lot.
So it's it's like silly. It's not paintball airsoft. It's not that. It's more like, let's be silly with like Nerf. It's like a little bit above Nerf.
Okay.
And so I guess like somebody got shot, one of those, got mad and came over and hit the white dude, and then he fell and he never got up again, and he never will. That's what happened there. Because I saw the tweet, and then Elon interacted with the tweet in some way. I don't remember what he wrote, and so I read into it a little bit more.
I see. Yeah, no, I read that.
Christ.
So the original thing I saw called it a squirt gun. And they're like, it was actually a pellet gun. And I was like, ooh, I know what a pellet gun is. And that'll break the skin, John Candy said so.
Yeah.
So white boy lost his eye.
Not this gun. Yeah.
But this, I guess, is not the pellet gun that I'm imagining. They're little lead pellets in a normal pellet gun.
Yeah, it's not a real pellet gun. A real pellet gun, you could fuck somebody up.
It's like shooting Tide Pods almost. It's these little gel thingies. They're tiny though. I've never had one. I've just seen like lots of fun videos of. They were like, this used to be the most dangerous neighborhood in all of Chicago. What do? They passed out 300 gel pellet rifles. Now the kids are having fun. And everybody's just having a war in the street, shooting each other, doing drive-bys with gel pellet guns.
Is that true?
Yeah. Somewhat.
Okay.
Damn, that's
a little bit.
This school's not doing well. This school seems like a terrible, terrible school.
And why is it so bad? Because it's well funded. So did they just start with some really underachieving students? Is that I'm making up reasons as to why it might be so terrible? Like they grab the students on the edge of dropping out, put them all in the same school, and hope to turn their lives around. In a situation like that, you take on a really hard task.
No one's even passing math.
Yeah, there's
no one. How do you not have a guy who's just naturally good at math? Like
I think LeBron James is bad at teaching.
I think
he's the only teacher. He never shows up.
I wonder what they do in China when you fail. Like I pick China because I think of them as a no nonsense sort of place. Like, what do you do if you're a third grader who can't cut it? You don't have an excuse. You're not disabled in any way, but clearly you're not paying attention, Chop Sing. You're fucking not. You don't know your AB fucking whatever the hell's and
you don't behave. You don't behave. We send you to LeBron James school in Cleveland.
I think learning your AB, whatever the hell, was an underappreciated joke. Chinese alphabet thing. Your AB chicken scratches.
Yeah, like whatever the shit
they don't want to get sent to this fucking shithole school, so they behave.
Like forget LeBron James school. In every school in America, it doesn't matter if you do anything, they'll just keep moving you along. I don't think they fail kids. I think that there are very few.
No.
I think there are very few places where they will fail you, no matter what you do. Like maybe you don't get a diploma at the end, but they'll keep you along the whole fucking time and just let you show up and leave, and they won't hold you back. Like you'll just be in another grade next year. They won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And there needs to be something for that. There needs to be, you don't want to turn out like those people over there, do you? Because everything else in life, they do that. Well, I don't want to go to bed. Why not? Well, you don't want to be like that guy, do you? We need that guy to point at again. We need that guy. We need consequences. So there should be some kids who know, shit, looks like you can't read, Timmy. Looks like you're not trying to very hard. Well, outside with you. What do you mean? You live outside now for 8 hours a day out there in the kennels. Just put them out there in the kennels or something. Let them chop wood. Let them, give them a little craft. Yeah, you can dig ditches with the team out there. Make them dig ditches, slave labor of some kind. You should put them to work.
So like punishment, but we're also building infrastructure.
Yeah. Well, basically, it's like, all right, you don't want to learn. There's plenty of jobs that do not require you to know your ABCs, like digging that hole out there with those fellas. Like
you didn't try in math or English, and so you clearly are very interested in the career of ditch digging. So your semester will be ditch digging, and then they won't go to the ditch digging class the same way they didn't go to the math class.
Well, I mean, if they don't,
digging's that bad a job.
I bet they don't even
manual
use
ditch digging or like one of those like giant chainsaw things.
Now you're working at chainsaw thing. I had excavator in my head, which is the big bucket on the front that like
those are fun to work. If you
don't want just anybody doing that. You want someone who knows what they're doing.
Have I operated one?
Yeah, excavator.
Yes, I have, but I'm not good at it. I don't have a lot of time.
Nobody's good at it first time. It's fun to fuck around with.
Yeah, it's like I was at the level where like I'll bump this a little bit, see what it does. Oh, okay, I want the opposite of that, probably the other way, and just like start to work on. But the people who do it, I can work a front end loader pretty well. Not amazing, but I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's the excavator is very fun. Of course, I was a kid when I was using it. I guess if I had a job right now, like digging holes all day, I'd be like, not so fun after all. But it's really fun as a kid to be moving there, like digging that huge hole and having all that power to just.
When I would commute to Cisco, I got into woodworking and like just hated my job. Like Cisco didn't treat me poorly or anything, but just working in a cube. All our cubes were the color of dirty dishwater, which had a big impact on me. I don't know if everyone's like that.
Like a gray
with some like squiggles in
swirls,
it, dirty dishwater, and you would just sit there surrounded by this sort of dirty dishwater with your illusion of privacy, and then I would work there all day long. And the nature of my job was often like to be persuasive, and that gets just tiring. Like you have to persuade, but you don't have authority in some situations, like over other people's groups, and just every fucking day trying to get people on board. And anyway, but I would commute to work passing guys who were like expanding the road from 1 lane each way to 2 lanes each way. And I'm like, man, they're living the life out there in these like diesel earth movers. There's I don't know the name of the machine, but it's long and it has a scraper blade in the middle and it makes things level.
A grading machine, a grader.
Okay. So I particularly thought operating the grader was the dream. I don't know why that one, but
they're so cool. My dad, when he built a couple of poultry houses, you bring in multiple of those and they look like dinosaurs moving along, just carving the earth anew. It's like, this is a valley, but it won't be in 2 weeks. Like they filled the valley, they cut the hill down and filled the valley with the hill. And now they have this huge flat spot and it pushes down on the dirt so hard that it compresses it and it's shiny, almost like glass. It's like that. The clay turns into this, like the light refracts off of it and it pushes it together in a way that it looks like sometimes when they split a rock, it'll be like, and they polish it. It'll have that really beautiful look to it on the inside, like geodes and stuff. Like that's what the dirt looked like after a grader went over it. It was really cool.
That's the machine. That one. The one I imagine has 2 wheels or 4 wheels, but that's it. Is that not what you were talking about, Kyle?
The one I'm thinking of is the bigger version of it. This is
bigger than a Tonka truck.
This is good.
Yeah. See, Woody, you can't get in this. That's a toy, so that'll get you nowhere.
Traditionally, they're made of metal,
but they make some big ones like diesel engines, and you can get inside of it. And no, that's the word I have for that piece of machinery. The regular size one, obviously, is I think a road scrape. But those grading machines look like something different. I was actually thinking about this last night, bizarrely enough, because I was thinking about what that land looked like before they graded it so long ago. But yeah, big machinery is fun to operate. And I've thought about that too. There's that scene in Office Space, which I'm sure maybe even triggered the thoughts that you're having, where he despises the monotony of that cubicle life and the horse shit of having 8 bosses and whatever. And it's his buddy is out there like, just getting dirty, sweating, carrying bags of concrete, digging with a shovel, but nobody's giving him any shit. Everybody's there as equals, doing their thing. Nobody's getting shit on. They're just getting shit done. And that's a lot more appealing to him. And I'm sure it's a lot more appealing to a lot of people.